Hi, my name is Cindy Cisneros, owner of Creatively LLC, and I do creativity coaching for artists. And I am offering you the business basics, the information that you need to get your art sold. So, this is a whole suite of courses of information to help you understand the business side of being an artist in today's world. So, there was a course that I just released called Writing a Business Plan. And we talked about basic business plans versus business plans for artists. And there was a section of that course where I talked about business models in the executive summary of your business plan. And I said, I really ought to offer a separate course on what is a business model because a business model is so juicy that even though it's just a section of your business plan, it could really stand alone for you if you're just getting started to support the doing of your business. And you could set the rest of your business plan aside for a little bit. You could really get started with just your business model. But when we're talking about the business plan, it's just one little part tucked into just one little part of the business plan. So I wanted to do a whole separate video on what is a business model. So today, this is the video. What is a business model? So, a business model is a framework that outlines how your company creates, delivers, and captures value. In other words, this is really the blueprint for how you're going to make money with your art and the key aspects of how it does that. So, there's some particular things that you're going to come back to in this business model that you're going to reference over and over and over that are going to really stand as important goalposts for you that are going to advise everything from your branding to your marketing to your sales that we're going to spend time building out. So, if you really put some time and thoughtfulness into these little bitty sections of your business model, it's going to serve you well. And furthermore, if you come back and visit and revisit and edit and update this business model as you go along, it's going to add value and add value and add value to your business um, and help you evolve and keep up with things that are happening in your industry. So, we're going to talk about maybe 9 different points of what goes into your business model. And I'm going to outline to you what they are, but I really want you to think about them critically, ask questions about them, spend time on each one, and really kind of struggle and wrestle with these a little bit because they're really important when you think about your business. So, the first thing is, and these may be things that you've heard, and some of these things that we've heard and struggled with as small business owners, as creative business owners, are kind of like eye rolling of like, oh, I've done this or I've tried this. But let's revisit it and really try to, if we kind of eye roll with it, maybe it's because we haven't gotten to a place of peace or rightness with it. So let's just kind of wrestle with it a little bit more. The first component of a business or creative business model that we really want to spend time with is our value proposition. But okay, all right. Our value proposition. What, and we're going to talk about first what it is and then how we're going to put this into our creative business. So, a value proposition is what product or service does our business offer? What problem does it solve? What need does it fulfill for our customers? This is the unique value that our business sets ourselves apart with from the competitors. So if you're thinking, gosh, a value proposition is so important because you want to be able to clearly state what makes you different and important and gives you value. So as an artist, the first most important thing that gives your art value is you. So what you're going to talk about and what you really want to be able to say clearly with this value proposition is how is it that you create, that you perform, that you paint, that you bake, that you play music? How is it that you bring your creativity into the world that is different, that is important, that is beautiful, this is where you're making that artist statement, but like poignantly and briefly and over and over and over again, not for like each specific show. but this is really kind of where you're saying that piece in a specific way that like pierces your soul and you're putting it out in the world. This is your value proposition. Spend some time with that. If you don't feel like you're saying anything, if you're confused about what you're saying, that's not it. It's not easy, but it's really important. Moving on. Customer segments. Who are your target customers? So you're in your business model, you want to talk about specific groups of people or businesses that you aim to serve. So we talk about target customers in the business world as business to business or person to business or business to person. Listen, who is going to be buying your art? Who is going to be attending your performances? Who is going to be buying your food? Who is going to be spending dollars on your creativity? So you may have heard things like customer avatars. You may have seen, where did I see a really good one? HubSpot. I think HubSpot. If you put into a search engine that you're trying target customer builder or audience profile builder, you're going to find lots of different tools that you can play with to help you come up with specific groups of people or businesses that your company is serving. So play with some things, or you can just start with describing the ideal person that would be buying from you and build out from there. But eventually, what you want to come up with is a specific demographic and set of demographics that will be buying from you. And I think a common mistake that we make at this area is everybody, because when it's everybody, we run into difficulties down the road with our marketing and sales planning. So the more specific we can be with our customer segments, the more successful we can be with marketing and sales planning. So try to be very specific. And if we find we're too specific here, we can revisit. Number 3, channels. How does your work reach your customers? How do we reach the people that you defined in number 2? So this is going to include marketing channels and distribution channels. So for the sake of parsimony, for the sake of simplicity, let's swipe that off the board and just come back to how are we going to reach our customers? How are people going to find out about you? How are they going to hear from you? So a good place to start is if you figured out who's going to be buying your stuff, where does that person hang out? Where do they work? Who do they talk to? Where do they go for information? What type of tech do they prefer to talk to each other? Where do they work in terms of tech? What type of search engines are they using? Where are they going online? Are they using tablets, computers, phones? Do they prefer to text, call, read email? Think about all the ways. And again, when we can narrow our audience, we can narrow our channels, and this is going to help us be very specific in the ways that we're going to reach out to and find and communicate with and market to people. So if you're having trouble narrowing down channels, go back and narrow down your customer segment. Number 4, customer relationships. Um, how are you as a business going to interact with your clients? So this is where, again, we think about our customer segments and think about our channels. See how we're kind of building. How am I going to be, based on the places that my people are going to be and who my people are, how am I going to be interacting with them? Am I going to be interacting with them on social? Am I going to be interacting with them over email? Am I going to be interacting with them over text? Am I going to be interacting with them in the community? Am I going to be interacting with them over performances? Start making a list of ways that you're going to be interacting with your consumers, your customers. Next, revenue streams. How is your business going to be making money? Now here, be as broad as you want-ish. We don't want to have too many different things that we want are going to be trying in the beginning. We can certainly branch out over time, but in the beginning, how are you going to be generating income? A good way to start is the things that you um, are going to reliably, the things you want to use as your most kind of reliable income makers, and then the things that are going to be your biggest income makers, and start with those two things. That maybe that's the same thing. And another name for this kind of revenue stream is products. And I think a good piece of advice, I know I said start with all the things, but I guess I meant that in terms of ideas. A good piece of advice in terms of products is to maybe start with three, maybe four. We could have a whole separate conversation about products and how many and how to pick them. And in terms of what your type of creative business is, how to pick what types of products. And this is really kind of a very individual conversation. And if you've ever kind of seen my Venn diagram of what you're great at and what your audience needs, and where your passion is and what that intersection is, um, ultimately you want to pick something that you can reliably do that is needed, that your client wants over and over and over again. And you're going to think about things like pricing, and you're going to think about things like cost to your business, and you're going to think about things like what it was that you really wanted to make when you got into the business. I really wanted to paint. I really wanted to perform. I really wanted to cook. I really wanted to make music. And try to start with a couple of things you can do initially to lean into to generate revenue. It's hard to talk about that one succinctly because, again, that's a very specific topic. So start with brainstorming and try to be specific. The sixth thing are key resources. What assets are essential in delivering on the value proposition? So going back to your value proposition, that was the very first thing. So what are the most essential parts of your business in terms of supporting you as the artist and the work that you're doing? So maybe it's equipment, maybe it's space, maybe it's intellectual properties, maybe it's other parts of your company, maybe it's financial resources. Make a list of these key resources. We're up to the seventh part of your business model. These are key activities. What are the crucial activities that are needed in order to deliver on your value proposition? So these are the things that you're thinking need to happen as part of your business on the regular. These are important things. So these are rehearsals, or these are performances, or these are the productions of your paintings, or these are sales, or these are marketing, or think about all the things that you need to accomplish in order to run your business. The next piece are key partnerships. What are the partnerships that your business will rely on? Think about the people you've already included and put them on the list first. Maybe if you're a nonprofit, there are grants and funders that you rely on already. Maybe if you're a solopreneur, this is a space that you want to grow and develop or explore, and you can put some ideas in this space. Maybe there are people that you have partnered with or used in the past that you have really grown and developed from that you want to bring back. But put here the space that you want, need, or have partnered with that are important to your business. And the last piece is your cost structure. So whether we are uber specific, because your business plan is going to be pretty specific, or whether we're more general in terms of these are the categories of things or a list of things, what are the major costs that are involved with operating your business? Maybe you have a leased space. Maybe you need some equipment to get started. Maybe you have people, staff that you're paying. Maybe you have software that you have to pay. What are the costs that they're your overhead? part of your business, or maybe you don't have any yet, but there's some that you want to build up to. So here, let me give you, now that we've gone through these 9 points, I'm going to give you an example of what this business model might look like for an artist who was selling paintings. So for a value proposition for an artist selling paintings, they might say, unique original paintings that evoke emotion and enhance the aesthetic of any space. For a customer segment, for an artist selling paintings, they might say, art collectors, interior designers, homeowners, and businesses looking for original art to decorate their spaces. For channels, they might say, direct sales through the artist's website, online art marketplaces, social media platforms, and gallery exhibitions. For customer relationships, they might say, personalized interactions with clients, offering commissioned work, and maintaining relationships through newsletters and social media updates. For revenue streams, they might say, sales of original paintings, commissions, limited edition prints, and possibly licensing artwork for merchandise. For key resources, they might say, their own skills and creativity, art supplies, studio space, and an online presence. For key activities, they might say creating new paintings, marketing and promoting artwork, networking with galleries and potential clients, and managing online sales. For key partnerships, they might say relationships with galleries, online art platforms, suppliers for art materials, and shipping companies. For cost structure, they might say costs for art supplies, studio rent, marketing expenses, website maintenance, and shipping fees. So they're trying to answer all of these different, I want to say, what do I want to call these? Aspects of their business model to kind of outline how they can create value through their artwork, right? They want to reach their target audience, make money, and manage their key resources and activities so that they can sustain the practice of doing their art. So this business model is going to help the artist understand how all of these elements fit together so that they can be sustainable and successful. I know and I remember the business model being a mental heavy lift for me because trying to wrap a creative thing around this very intellectual thing, I just remember kind of coming at it and coming at it and coming at it and feeling quite frustrated. But eventually getting there and kind of having a breakthrough that was super important. So I would say step one, absorb the content. Take notes on it, process it visually, do mind maps, however you process content. For me, I kind of listen to it, look at it, and then I need to take my own notes, and I might even listen to it again. And then I'm going to take my own information and fill out some version of a form or a template trying to put my own information in it and be prepared for a learning curve. And a learning curve in psychology means frustration, frustration, frustration before things start to click and you get that kind of ease that you're looking for. And I know as artists, you know what that feels like. So expect the same thing when learning these essentials for managing your business. And please, just because I'm giving this information away for free, don't expect that free means easy. I want the information for you to be easy to find because I know putting it into practice is not easy. So there's no reason that getting the information you need needs to be hard. But now please do the work of putting your business into these essentials because the essentials absolutely do work, but you need to put the time and energy into placing your business into a business plan, into a business model, into these fundamentals, into practice in order to get things up and running. Spend the time, spend the energy, wrap your mind around things, put it into practice, revisit, and there is a community of artists on the Business Basics Creativity courses. So if you're getting this content on YouTube, if you go to the creativitycourses.com, all of the business basics, plus affiliated content, plus more information. I'm adding to it all the time, plus articles, plus worksheets, plus downloadables, plus anything that I think could be helpful to you in absorbing this content. I'm dumping in there for free. But there's also, it's called the Creativity Studio. It's an online um, just group of artists who are on this journey that you can join for free. And then there's a thread in there called CBIS, and it's for Create, Buy, um, Investigate, I think, Sell. And it's for you to just talk about and ask your questions and share opportunities and support each other because entrepreneurship is a very unique journey, but artpreneurship is a super unique journey. Doing your own business in the creative world is special and important, but needed. So don't give up. Keep trying. Reach out for support. Ask questions. Please email me questions, post questions in the threads in the group on the courses. But if you have more information that you need or want to see, send me those questions at questions@creativelyllc.com. And I hope to make this journey a little bit easier for you. And you can book, I have various ways that you can book support sessions with me along the way. So please look for those links. Reach out. I'm here to help you. All right, guys. See you around. Hopefully helpful. Bye.